Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It is Coffee Ann time on ON AM at FM. Thanks for joining us. It's Monday. It's December 5th. First Monday in December. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan.
Just figuring this
With
stuff
me
out now.
is Dave Richards. Good morning to you, Dave.
Hi there, Joel.
And also,
hi, everybody.
Also with us, Sleepy Tom Ward.
Good morning, everybody.
See, this is what happens when you take the red eye in from Florida.
Yeah.
You're like,
That wasn't quite the red eye.
Okay.
But it came in around 12:15. So
Yes.
so that was late, but
Always fun coming into green when you're the last people there. Because I've done that too.
It seemed that way. Yeah, there weren't many people around.
Everything's
funny,
closed.
they-
You're the only one standing around the carriage waiting for your luggage.
They were coming down, and they're like, "Are those of you making a connection here?" I'm like, "Who's making a connection here at 12:15 in the morning?"
Nobody. There are no planes flying out.
I don't think so.
Everything kind of stops.
I think it's over for the day.
All right. Well, glad you're back, and we can ply you with a lot of coffee, and so you'll be up and
It's
running.
needed.
All right. Patriots did not play over the weekend because they played last Thursday and lost.
Right.
But now the rankings, in case you were wondering, the Bills are 9-3, Miami's 8-4, the Jets are 7-5, Patriots are 6-6. Still in last place. I haven't seen this in quite a long time. Now,
Yeah.
the next two games for the Patriots are a week from today in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Should be a win. And then the following Sunday night, these night games are killing me, by the way, in Vegas, another possible win. So
Yeah.
they should be, in 2 weeks, they should be 8-6. And then it's Miami and Buffalo, or Buffalo and Miami, whichever way. And then it's two more losses. And so I don't think they're going to make it this year. So it's just, unless a miracle happens. So we'll have to see. So best of luck to them. But everyone kind of in New England, I think they kind of resigned to that fact, and everyone has switched to the Bruins and the Celtics, who are both playing great.
Yeah.
At the
Which
same
is-
time,
and
which is awesome.
And that's what happens is people are just they'll move on fast enough.
Oh yeah,
They'll
who's
just,
winning?
Like,
Switch over.
or they'll just feel like with the Patriots, they'll just check in on them during
Yeah.
the game, but
How
they're
they
not
doing?
going
All
to
right.
sit and watch. That's why you guys are in the media business. I've never understood how if the Red Sox have a big year, my guess is that they would go to advertisers the next year and say, look, everybody's going to be watching and up the prices.
Yeah.
And then they have a calamitous year, the year later, and everybody's gone
Reel it back, yeah.
gone by June. I wonder if I wish there was a car dealer here. Because well, did they start to reduce the prices? Because you're getting hammered, and the audience is gone.
Yeah.
By August, the audience is gone. And the flip side is, and maybe they don't do an annual contract. Maybe they just do month to month, because the flip side is if they're doing really well, then everybody starts tuning in. Come July after All-Star break, everyone starts watching.
I think they just
And-
buy the season. I don't think you. Can
That's
go
what I
month to
think.
month,
And-
yeah.
But it's like, boy, what
It's a roll of the dice.
a roll of the dice is true. I mean,
And hopefully it
because-
comes up snake eyes and everything is good for you. But if not, it's craps, right?
yeah,
Use
yeah,
a good,
and
gambling terminology.
yep. I could see that happening. It's funny, but I was tempted. We've never done it yet. But I always look at the Patriots schedule when it first comes out, and I've said to my wife, maybe we should go to a Patriots game just for a long weekend, just for a change of pace.
Like
something
away?
different. Away.
Oh,
Always,
okay,
always
okay.
away. Yeah, I'm not
Because you
doing-
can't get tickets,
Can't get tickets.
in Foxborough.
And I have a brother-in-law who has said to me he'll do that too, but he managed to get tickets in Green Bay. But when I first saw the
Really?
schedule,
Wow.
yeah, it was hard. It was difficult, but he finally got them. But when I mentioned it to him this year, I said, you want to go that Las Vegas one? Sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, it's Las Vegas after all.
That must have been tough to get tickets because they're so new.
Right. And but I didn't get them anyway because
All right.
I thought, but then I looked at the calendar and I said, my wife's not going to Las Vegas a week before Christmas, and I was right about that. She's like, oh, Tommy, she goes, I would like to do that September, October. or the Miami game that they used to do,
A lot of people
December
do that.
20th or
Yeah,
something. I
yeah.
mean, that's okay. But she says, I don't know about Las Vegas. There's no sitting by the pool in December in Las Vegas.
Well, maybe
Maybe indoor.
the Arizona game might have been
That
would
would've-
have been
yeah.
okay this time,
Yeah.
and probably a lot easier to get tickets to go see that game. So
Probably.
maybe. All right, other things going on. We did have a message that was called in, and it's just a person wrote, "Well, just when you think you've heard it all, and now you can sue anyone for anything." I learned that in my one criminal justice class. All you got to find is a lawyer to file the right paperwork. You sue anybody for anything. Tom's wearing a blue shirt. I'm distraught. I'm emotionally distressed. I'm suing you. Anyway, but now the fans are now suing Ticketmaster for libel, which I find hard to believe, for the screw-up with the Taylor Swift concert. People are so upset.
How would that be libel?
I don't think it's libel. It could be misleading. It could be fraudulent. Libel, I'm
Libel.
not sure.
First of all, libel. I don't know. Maybe there could be some, like I said, fraud or things like that. Libel, because I lived in that world, is a very high bar to clear for anybody. First of all, you have to have said something. Libel is typically reserved for media.
When you lie about someone,
newspaper,
basically?
something. When you lie about them,
And it can be
but you
proven.
intend. No, you have to
No.
prove intent. You have to
Intent
prove.
to lie?
In other words, if I were writing a story for the Valley Breeze or one
Yeah.
of my employees, and they wrote something that was factually untrue,
That could be damaging to the
that
to the,
could
to the
hurt
reputation.
somebody.
Yeah.
And of course, I worried about it all the time because it was so much worse than a weekly paper because
Yeah.
now the damage goes for a week.
Yeah, before you can make a correction.
But the client, the complainant, had to prove that I meant to do them harm, that I was actively lying,
Wow.
that I knew
That
I
must
was
be-
lying.
that must be tough to prove.
Trying to, and it is because anytime we had something that people got upset about, and it was probably 2 or 3 times, and it always involved politicians. We would go out of our way as quickly as possible to make a correction. I think I had a front page correction once that was, I felt terrible about it, and I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that the facts were wrong in that story and it had to be fixed. Then the internet came along, which at least allowed us online to immediately put a correction, although not as many people saw the internet stuff back in those days. So that's a very high bar. I remember finally talking to a lawyer about it and said, look, you really don't have anything to worry about unless
That's what the lawyer said? Okay.
unless you have been malicious, unless
Yeah.
you wanted to hurt somebody, and and I never wanted to hurt anybody. There were people I didn't like, but
Yeah.
I was not stupid enough to want to hurt them in the paper.
I don't think Ticketmaster or Taylor Swift are trying to hurt people.
No, well, certainly not Taylor Swift.
No,
but-
so they're just trying to make as much money as possible. So, and yeah, like we said, you can sue anybody for anything. Whether or not you win, that's another story. So,
Yep.
I don't think this will hold up in court. The judge will just laugh it out.
Hey, can I give a tiny little shout out / advertisement for Mount St. Charles where I serve on the board. I don't know the details. You'd have to call Mount, but Mount has a raffle going. Somebody was nice enough. Maybe I'll look this up on my phone between innings here, but someone was nice enough to donate 4 Taylor Swift tickets.
Wow.
At Gillette Stadium, 4 together. So I mean, you could go with your family. 4 together.
Any idea what the seats are?
Donated to Mount St. Charles. I don't know the details on these seats. It's Gillette Stadium concert, next spring, and they donated
them.
them.
Go for a mint.
they do, well. I know they're not auctioning.
No,
they're having
it's
a raffle.
Oh,
And so it's
even better.
$60 for 1 ticket, $100 for 2 tickets.
For 2 tickets,
into
get
the
into the
raffle.
raffle.
And it's right before Christmas. They're giving them away. I think it's around December 20th.
Wow.
The tickets are being given away. So I don't know the details, but if you think you want to win 4 Taylor Swift tickets, and imagine if it was your grandkids or something, and you didn't tell them anything, and then you won, and you put in their Christmas stockings.
Yeah,
They
so,
go
hey,
out
what's
of there.
that?
They go out of their minds. So Anyway, just want to let people know that they can call Mount St. Charles. Mount will find a way. Lisa Leiden is the lady who's in charge of it. She's the development officer, so she would be a person you could talk to buy your raffle ticket.
Wow, that's something.
I wish you good luck, but I intend to buy some tickets too, and I hope I win.
So you can give them. You're not going to go, are you?
I don't know. No, because my kids would probably all go
Yeah.
crazy, and I would let them go. Yeah, because Carol would give me the side eye, like, "You're gonna go, and your kids can't go." So, no, I would be interested personally, just as a person. I like some of her work. I don't know a lot of her work, but I've heard some that I'm like, I like that song. I think she's talented. But to me, it would be to see the excess, to see how. Just what a show what a spectacle they're going to make.
But I think it's going to be just reminiscent of the Beatles.
Yeah.
And all you're going to hear is screaming,
God.
high pitched screaming for 3 hours. Will you be able to hear her?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They've come a long way in
Technology, yeah.
in the amplifiers technology.
See, the other thing, I didn't try to get tickets for this. I hear they're also pretty high. Metallica's coming in 2 years.
Oh,
Now they're going to play 2 shows in August of 2024.
this is coming in 2 years to Gillette.
Yes.
Okay.
And so they're going to play one set on one day. The next day they play is going to be a completely different set of songs from the first time.
Oh my God!
Day.
So you're supposed to buy tickets to both shows.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
if you can.
I like one song by these guys. What if I pick the day they don't play the song?
We need to put the playlist.
Oh,
out.
you should have been here in the first show. We did it then. So I'm not going to bide my luck on this. I'm not going to go at all. So I'll show
that is
them.
interesting.
Well, that's their. We've got so many songs. We want to play them all.
Yeah.
So we're going to play two.
And by the way, we're
different
getting old,
sets.
so
Yeah.
we can't do this all night.
All right. So if you're lucky enough to hear the song on the day you want to go, you're lucky. If not, you've missed out. So all right, I won't bother with that one. So sad news over the weekend. I don't know if you heard it, Tom. But growing up, kids my age. Do you remember Bob from Sesame Street?
No,
The character?
It was. You're much younger than me, and
not
so
much
I
younger.
did not watch
Any Sesame Street?
Well, no, I certainly didn't. And
All right.
we weren't. Our kids know Sesame Street and parachuted in now and
Yeah.
then, but they weren't a day by day
Weren't a big thing
Sesame
for them?
Street.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what? So
Well, it was one of the, not a Muppet, obviously. It's one of the real life persons. He was on it for 40 years.
Wow.
As soon as they said who he was, I'm like, I know exactly who it is.
Yeah.
His name was Bob McGrath. He played Bob Johnson on the show. He interacted with the Muppets. So a very nice guy. And he just passed away. He was 90 years old.
Wow.
So and he was,
Had a good
according
run.
to his history, he had a tenor voice, and earlier before Sesame Street, he was on Sing Along with Mitch Miller. He's one of the tenors. So he's a very talented guy, and then moved over to this and had an amazing career with Sesame Street. So that's what happens. Some of the main characters that I remember being on the show, they're going to start dying off.
Yeah.
Well, it's what happens. So 90 years old. So, hey, good for him. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. You can call in comments or questions, 766-1240, and more of Coffee and coming up. Please stay tuned.
Right now is the time for a tune-up on your vehicle. Charlie's Tire and Service Center reminds everyone that they are an authorized dealer of name brand tires like BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Michelin, and Cooper tires. They also offer the best in mechanical repairs and service. You can't beat Charlie's Tire, 825 South Main Street, Bellingham. Charlie's Tire also offers the best in truck and high-performance tires, and they accept all major credit cards. So for top service at fair prices, for tires or mechanical repairs, it's Charlie's Tires. Remember, to get a tune-up on your vehicle, to keep your car running smooth, call Charlie's Tires, 508-883-1211.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON, AM, and FM.
All right, it's Coffee Ann here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Tom Ward. Dave Richards is out taking care of things in the office. He'll be back in momentarily. So let's see what else is going on. We got to get my news stories over here.
fun stuff
Dave, yeah, let's do that now. Thanks for coming back in, Dave. We got Milk Fund donations to talk about.
We just had somebody here for the heating system, so I was obliged.
You want to take care of that, right?
Yes,
away.
let's make sure the furnace is
Now,
working
Tom,
when
I'm
it's
sorry,
20 degrees
I'm sorry that
outside.
I really don't have much fun for you right now.
That's all right.
But I do have a story to tell, and we've been acknowledging Milk Fund gifts here on Coffee Am for so long, and we want to continue doing it here. Although I think, mention this to you on Friday's auction, Joe. Mm-hmm. When we visited the Masons, Lisa Carcefero, our 2022 Milk Fund chair, this is her 6th year, by the way, and I went to visit the Masons on Clinton Street at Morningstar Lodge. And there they had the top guy in the state, and the second guy in the state, and the third guy in the state, plus all the guys from Woonsocket there. And we were honored that everybody came out all at the same time. And the State Masonic Grand Lodge Charities of Rhode Island gave the Milk Fund $3,000 check.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And Lisa was very, very excited. And
bet.
that's when the gentleman who runs Luke, the guy in charge of the Morningstar Lodge here on Clinton Street, jumped up and gave her a check for $500.
Wow.
So things were going pretty well, and we didn't really know that anything else was going to happen because we really only knew that the state check was coming, and we didn't know how much. Mm-hmm. So there we are, standing in the lodge room, and everybody's got their costumes on and stuff, because that's what Masons do, you know. They get the jewels and the aprons and the rest of that stuff, and tuxedos for the officers. And then Skip Priestley, who is a close friend of mine and also a Mason, jumps up and hands her another check for $200 from the Ladies Auxiliary, the Order of the Eastern Star.
Gee whiz.
All Masonic now.
That's- yeah.
All right? And this is all in the same 10 minutes in the lodge room. And then
Big day.
Rick Pickard. Now, Joe, you've seen it when Rick Pickard comes in sometimes with his hat and his sword and his costume there. And he jumped up and he handed me a check for $1,000 for the Holy Sepulchre Commandery, number 8. And that is $1,000 for the Milk Fund there on top. And as if that wasn't enough, he says, oh, and by the way, our friends at the Pawtucket Royal Arch Chapter number 4 have also donated $1,000 to the Milk Fund as well. And
then,
Lisa was like a stunned fish there. I mean, her eyes were bugged open, and she was just like, she didn't know what to say.
Checks just keep on coming.
Right, exactly. But as if all of that weren't enough, then the master of the lodge, the president, Luke, took the top hat from the state top guy, the top-ranking Mason in the state. They call him the Grand Master of Masons. You know, when he dresses up in a tuxedo, he also wears the top hat. He took the top hat off the top guy and passed it around the lodge. Big hat.
Fill it.
And it came back with $385 in cash.
Wow.
That's great.
Incredible.
That is quite a day.
And one of the guys who wasn't in line for the hat, the district deputy Grand Master, Stefan, came over. He says, oh, I didn't see the hat. And he gave us another $20. Altogether,
Yeah, when you add it all up.
$6,105 for the Milk Fund from the Masons last Thursday night.
Wow.
All in one
And
night.
all their concordant bodies and stuff like that. Concordant body is kind of like, well, you'd know the Shriners better than Commandery or Sepulchre. The Shriners are pretty high profile. Well, you can't be a Shriner unless you're a Mason. And that's the deal with that. So anyway, $6,105, and we were just delighted. And I wanted to acknowledge it on the air as well. I told the story to Joe Nato, and he was floored. Mm-hmm. Yesterday I was able to get a photograph was snapped there on the lodge. I didn't get it over to your show, to your playout computer, Joe. So
That's okay.
Yeah, but I'm sending it over to Joe Nato at the call, so he'll print it.
Good. Well, that's incredible. That's 6,000 in one shot.
Yep,
Wow.
6105 in one shot. We walked in. We didn't know what the check was going to be, but we knew that the state, they had asked questions in October, and we'd answered them. And there they are. And, of course, the state and Morningstar Lodge have been making donations each year for quite a number of years. We're very delighted about that. But charity's high up on their list of things to do, that's for sure.
All right, very nice, and we thank
That's
him very much.
outstanding.
That's great. Tom, did you have anything else that was cruising around in your head? How was your trip to Florida? How was the golf?
The golf.
Did you win?
The golf is no. There's no such thing as winning. Except we have a brother, Dick, who's probably a bit better than all of us. He's a few years older. He's the oldest, but he's had more time to hone his skills in golf. So he
Is that
he
what you're
did-
hanging your head on? The fact that he's older, he's had more time to practice?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's more the state retiree thing. So, he did practice, and I learned myself this summer. It comes and goes based on practice, or at least that's the way it's working out for me, because I enjoyed golf, but I never really had a chance to play it when I ran the Valley Breeze. Well, actually, it's not even the Valley Breeze. From the time I was a father,
There
my
was
wife
something
and
more
I,
important.
Well, yeah, because my wife and I had no daycare help, so
Did your wife play golf?
no.
Okay.
We couldn't have gone together. We had 4 kids, so
Give them all a little putter.
yeah. So
They can shag the balls.
they could. That's a good. I missed my opportunity there. Kids, go stand 100 yards away. Put this helmet on.
Yeah, watch out.
and bring the balls back.
You'd have been better
They'd
putting
have
one
been
at
very-
100 yards and one at 75,
Yeah,
one at 50.
they would have been
And the
real
other one
excited.
stay right here.
But John and Vinny are better. But getting back to practice, I played this summer for the first time in a league in my life in a league, and because it was only 9 holes every Tuesday, but I got better.
You got better.
I got better, and I was like, "Oh, that's all it takes is you actually have to play on a regular basis." But that ended in around November 1st.
So things get rusty.
And things got rusty again, and I was so disappointed. I thought I'd be up with my brothers, and actually my long game, my drivers and 3-woods off the deck weren't bad, but oh my
short game,
lord,
not so good.
oh, it was the putting.
The putting,
If I get to the ball 40 feet from the green, it's like I know that's going to be a 3-putt. It's just I couldn't get the ball to, gimme land, get it to maybe 2 feet where they're like just pick it up. That's a gimme. I just could not do it. And sometimes I'd be hitting the ball from 25 feet, and I didn't get. These were tougher
The lay
greens,
of the
and they were
green.
the reed. And it would just head off to the left, and I'm like, "What the heck?" I started 25 feet away. I'm still 10 feet
yeah.
away. How I was looking at myself. If I had a mirror, I would have been like, how dumb are you? How bad can you be? So it was a challenge.
How are you with the sand wedge? I always
Awful.
found that difficult.
Awful.
Incredibly difficult.
Oh,
Love
my
sandwiches
God.
myself, a little mustard.
But the whole point of using that is you don't hit the ball. You got to hit the sand
You
like
have to
underneath
sand
it and lift it out. It's very difficult.
And how to
do.
control where the ball goes
Oh, it's-
after doing that
Yeah.
is just I don't
I don't know how it's done.
I don't know. Me neither. That escapes me. But anyway,
practice, just like Carnegie Hall.
yeah.
I suppose. Well, the problem with that, Dave, there's a difference though. Go to any golf course, or even if you're a member somewhere, and say, "I want to practice sand shots." They're like, "No, you're
No,
going to make a mess.
Yeah, that's right.
You're going to make a
You can't do
mess of
that.
the place." So it's like, well, where do I go to practice sand shots? And
Out of the
I know
course.
there are places, but
Yeah.
it just feels like you're making a heck of a mess because every time you hit the
You
sand,
got to rake it out. Yeah.
it
Yeah,
just
the sand
keeps
goes
coming.
everywhere.
It goes in the grass, and then whoever owns this place is going to look at you like, what a slob. But what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
So no, I've never. You
Just
can't
keep
playing
playing
go to
rounds
the
of golf.
beach.
$33, please.
Great. You can 33. That's cute.
Well, I don't know where you
Those
are.
days are long.
Yeah.
No, they're
Well, because I don't know myself,
Yeah.
but and of course, if you go on a tournament, it's much more. But we have items in the Milk Fund auction it's $66 for a round of golf for two.
For two. At
Right. So
Crystal
I figured
Lake.
it was
Well,
33.
that's
you know?
not bad. That's a good deal.
That's probably during the week.
Typical. Well, no, I mean I can say I
Crystal
go
Lake
to
is,
Crystal Lake with my brothers, and
yeah.
and it's usually around 60 with a cart.
Yeah?
yeah, 60, 65. But there are, down in Florida, it's the one thing that's happened. We're in Bonita Springs, and it's in the Naples area, and what's happened is it used to be the season of people, snowbirds going down there was right after Christmas till through March and sometimes through April. And the snow, that's not the case anymore. More and more people are going down there. Probably they're spending more on the house, so they figure they might as well enjoy it. But we always went down there November, December, and it was kind of empty, which is great. And so you get discounts on golf courses and stuff. That's over now. The courses are full. The homes are full. There's more of them. Because they're continuing to build houses like crazy.
You're going to have to go to Okeechobee then.
If you say so.
They're still waiting to build up Okeechobee,
Yeah, well, this is...
which is a little town north of the lake, by the way.
Yeah, I'm amazed at how full everything is getting and how rapidly. When I think back, it was the first time we bought down there was 20 years ago, 19 years ago. And I look around now and it's like, holy moly. I mean, it
Looks like LA,
it
right?
just keeps coming. Yeah, yeah. And nobody builds up, but they just keep taking the land. I don't know. It just, the traffic's worse. And so anyway, so now a standard, I would think the average we paid this past week was $80 to $85 around.
No kidding.
Yeah.
We have a note that was called in, 766-1240 to Tom. I guess this goes with the whole sand wedge thing in the sand trap. Their advice, don't peek and just follow through.
That's probably good. That's
Now,
good advice.
Did you see any wildlife? Did you see any crocodiles?
There was
come out
some
and visit?
big alligators.
Alligators
I
up
could,
on the
it's not
course?
going to do you any good, but what did I do with my phone?
Because that's a real hazard down
Yes,
there in Florida.
yeah, there was-
They're on the course.
There was a big one. It had to be a 12-footer sitting there, and my brother's ball got about 20, 25 feet away, and we're like, Rick, you don't have to play that. Just pick it up and move it away from him. And he's like, no, I'll be all right. But he kept kind of looking back, and I'm like, I got it in my eye.
He's getting
I'll-
closer.
On dry land, those
he
buggers
was.
can go like 20 miles an hour.
They can
you know.
move, yeah.
Yes.
And so he's kind of looking back, and I said, if he moves, I'll
let you know.
I'll tell you. Let's go.
I'll tell you after a while.
But because he was winning, so but
So the
anyway,
alligator stayed put?
he stayed right there.
All right.
Rick quickly made his shot
and move on.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Other things going on. The potential strike of nurses has been averted here in Rhode Island.
How wonderful.
The United Nurses and Allied Professionals, which represent 600 employees at Our Lady of Fatima Hospital, Roger Williams Medical Center, and Charter Care Home Health Services, announced a new deal after overwhelmingly approved by the members. So, good news down there. Didn't I hear that Roger Williams Medical Center is being sold?
I was going to say, didn't they just get sold,
Well,
or they're
to a
being sold?
non-profit
They
organization?
just had an agreement to be sold.
Okay.
And the union got all excited, of course, because they were still in negotiations at that point. And then the Attorney General said, wait a minute, there's some extortion here to be done. So
I don't think they said it like that.
No, I don't think he
Pretty
said
sure
it
he
that way.
didn't.
I think he didn't use the word extortion, but that's what he was thinking about because that's what he did with National Grid. Oh gosh, I was embarrassed as a resident of the state of Rhode Island what he did to National Grid when they sold out. He just like, hey, listen, you're going to give us this, you're going to give us this, you're going to give us this, and oh, by the way, goodbye. Mm-hmm. The statement that he made is, oh, well, whenever you have something like this, it has to be scrutinized by the Attorney General's office. We have to look at everything from every angle. We're going to investigate the principals. We're going to investigate the sellers. We're going to investigate the people who walk by the place. Everyone's going to be under scrutiny, and we'll let you know if that's a sale that's going to go through. And
right.
He was very aggressive in his comments about it. I exaggerated a little bit, but I exaggerated to illustrate the tone. of the aggressive comments that he made.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the nurses are happy. They get they get vastly improved working conditions, substantial wage increases, and they say that and job security, which is
How do you
what
get
they were looking
vastly
for.
improved working conditions? I'd love to know.
I don't know, in a hospital,
Yeah.
it could be bad.
I mean, if you're short-staffed, you're short-staffed. Someone's
Yeah,
going to take
but-
care of the patients. If you're,
Yeah.
if you're, you know,
So doesn't that depend
in-
on the patients what your working conditions are going to be?
Yeah, in my wife's era, she's retired now. Working, you know, she'd be like, we don't even go to the bathroom. I mean, does the state or the working conditions still give you 2 breaks and lunch? Yes. Does it ever happen? Did it ever happen? My wife is an ICU nurse.
No. No, you're too
So,
busy, yeah.
so what do? Say we're going to make your break instead of 10 minutes, it's 15. That's vastly improved. But nobody takes the break.
Doesn't say,
I mean,
yeah.
you know, it's now things have changed. Obviously, it's been a while, but I don't know how you give nurses vastly improved working conditions. I really don't.
Because if the patient, they get shot and there's blood all over the floor,
Yeah,
there's
it's
going to
like
be blood
it's
all
not,
over the
it's
floor.
not break time. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so. I don't know how you do that.
I don't know.
And by the way, most nurses are fine with that. They're
Yeah.
in it to help people and to save lives, and
They know
they're
that.
in it for all the right reasons, and they know that it's in many cases, in some cases, it's a place for unions. In some cases, it's not.
All right, break time on Coffee and you can call in comments and questions at 766-1240. It's time for the weather forecast being brought to you by the Connecticut Department of Administrative Services.
Sunny skies today with a high of 49 degrees and a calm wind. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, overnight low of 35. Tuesday's weather, mostly cloudy and 54. Wednesday, 90% chance of rain all day, high of 55. Thursday, mostly sunny, 53. Friday, mostly sunny and 45. Saturday, a slight chance of rain or snow, mostly cloudy with a high of 42. And on Sunday, partial sunshine and 43.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street, sunny skies, and we have hit the 32-degree mark. The Connecticut Department of Administrative Services is hiring for healthcare and direct support. Visit ct.gov/CT State Jobs. That's ct.gov/CT State Jobs for more information.
In a recent survey of online shoppers, half of them didn't think prices in cyberspace were any better than prices in stores, and that was without adding in shipping and handling. Another study found that 2/3 of online transactions are abandoned before completion. Maybe there's something to be said for a real shopping experience, seeing, touching, and comparing things for yourself, getting help when you need it, on the spot from real people. You work hard for your money, so this holiday season, keep your dollars working for you here at home.
One of our great hometown merchants is Belo's Flowers, 665 Diamond Hill Road, Woonsocket.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Are you looking for solutions to meet your business banking needs? At Milford Federal, the longest standing community bank in the area, they offer customized solutions for commercial lending, cash management, online banking, and payment processing services. Their business banking team is committed to the growth and success of your business with local decision making and a relationship based approach. Let Milford Federal be your banking partner. Visit them at MilfordFederal.com today. Milford Federal Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, and MLS number 465956.
Hi, everybody. This is Dave Richards. Among the items we'll be putting up for bid on the Monday Milk Fund radio auction are a 1,000-piece inspirational puzzle, a 9-inch high soldier nutcracker, a beautiful ladies bracelet, Green Monster hat and hand warmers, and a set of 9 car washes, plus gift cards from Stanley's Hamburgers, Bellingham Electric, and Little General Stores. So join me, Joe Callahan, and our special guest auctioneers, Judy Boscheman from Missy's and Denise Levero from Pepin Lumber, for all the fun from 4 to 5 Monday for the Milk Fund Radio Auction, here and only on ON Radio.
ON Radio.
All right, Coffee In on ON Radio. We hope you can join us this afternoon for the Milk Fund auction from 4 to 5. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards. Tom Ward is here. Tom, it's legal to buy marijuana in the state of Rhode Island. I'm sure you're just thrilled to death about that.
That's exciting. Yeah. I mean, it's already starting in other states. I just get a kick out of them saying, well, now that we've legalized it, it'll be regulated. More importantly, it'll be taxed. We'll make some money.
Make a ton of money.
And all the bad guys will go away. It's
Wrong.
No. It's just more competition now.
We had Chief Tom Oates last week. Mm-hmm. So, Chief, how's the whole black market thing? Is that going away? I asked that facetiously.
Yeah.
And he's like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And he goes, I've talked to other police chiefs around the country, Colorado, other places that legalized it first. How's it out there? It's just as bad a problem, black market marijuana.
Yeah.
It's not going away anywhere.
So
I can sell it for less.
Yeah.
Right. So now we're going to have price wars with marijuana, and
And that will continue, of course, until they license Walmart as a marijuana store.
So to me, it's a
I'm kidding, folks. I'm kidding.
It's certainly a non-event in my life, but it's. I just think it's sad. There was a gentleman. He'd be interesting to bring in if he's still in Woonsocket, who ran for the State House a couple of times as a doctor of some kind, and he spoke, anti-marijuana, and because he looked at the impact on young people especially, and he's like, this stuff is bad. Do you have any idea? You can't legalize it because this does damage to kids. This is not, and so does, we understand, so does alcohol, but and probably for the same reasons, that the brain isn't formed enough yet, and then of course with alcohol,
it's not a good time of life to be killing brain cells.
Exactly, and the knock on marijuana is that it really kills a young man or woman's ambition, and you don't want to kill that, from age 17 to 25, And,
well, it's 21 now, because we all know it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying when they're young, you don't want to mess that up and give in. And we've given in. We've quit the fight, and we think we're smart, and we want money.
We want the tax money.
We're going for the money.
And it's like, okay, so now you're just going to wind up with a whole new set of problems.
Yeah, but we have money.
And 3 or 4 years from now,
it's never enough.
Yeah,
I know it's never enough.
We have sports gambling and table gambling and slot gambling. It's never enough.
We got to make up for the truck tolls that we stopped carrying.
Yeah, that's true. I supported those, but but you're right.
I never thought they were legal.
And maybe ultimately, I mean, at this moment in time, you win the argument. But I wasn't even concerned so much about legality, which is shame on me. But I was like, no, if you can find a way to get somebody else to pay for this road work that is long overdue and much needed.
And it's being done too.
It is being done.
You can see the work
that's everywhere.
That's being done.
And so, I had asked Ted Nesi in an email to him. Ted is a reporter at Channel 12. I said, why don't you do an in-depth analysis? Back when Roadworks started, this is before it got canceled or the money got shut off. I said, why don't you go back and just update us on how it's going? Because, you're collecting all this, all these tolls. I don't know, a quarter of it is or a third of it is going to the tolling companies, so that doesn't help build the bridge. But then, how much are we making? I said, I see the work being done. I'm actually very pleased with that. It might have been a SOP or a buyout to big labor by Gina Raimondo, but you know what? That's fine. If the work's getting done, and it's a lot of work, a lot of important work, and it was supposed to be road work, supposed to be 10-year plan. Now we all know they weren't going to stop working after 10 years, but 10 years is we're 5 years into it, so it's like, how are we doing? How are we doing along the path? How much more is there to do? How much money are you taking in?
How far behind are we?
And that was my thing to Ted, was to say the promise was the tolls were going to take care of the bill, and find out if that's happening. And my instinct says it's not even close to happening.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know. But certainly it's not happening anymore. But you look at the cost of the work, just the 95 right at Providence Place and the new bridge connecting 146. I mean, there's just a mountain of money being spent there. It's needed, but now there's no more road work.
Yeah.
There's no money coming in from the tolls. So.
All right, other things going on, and I need the two smarter brains in the room to figure this out for me. All right.
Shall we get them?
Tom owns both.
All right. Rhode Island Secretary of State Nellie Gorbea, she's got a new job.
Dan hired her?
What's wrong with that?
No. How about that? She didn't. He didn't hire her.
Private sector, Salve
No,
Regina.
that's fine. She's going to go work at Salve Regina
Okay.
in Newport. Okay. But now this is what she's going to, this is her position. She will be a visiting senior fellow working on cybersecurity and disinformation. What does this mean?
Well, that means she'll be anything conservative. She'll be putting down.
Now.
That's what. No, if you're a Democrat,
You're right.
You think anything Republican and conservative is disinformation.
So that's okay.
That's the lie you tell to spread your own disinformation.
No.
Has she got a lot of background in cybersecurity?
I don't know that. I don't know, and maybe she does.
Maybe she does.
I imagine she must. I mean,
When it says she's a visiting senior fellow, is she going to be teaching?
I don't know.
Or she's
what that
going to be a
means.
staff
Well, I
member.
mean, she's not in line for tenure, and she's not on
Yeah.
staff. She's like a contractor,
Doing what?
But to do what?
a teaching contractor.
To teach the
So
students?
she's gonna
Right.
teach cybersecurity, and like I said, maybe she's up to speed. I don't know anything about.
Well, she's
Her
bright, and
ability
she could get
there.
herself up to speed in anything. Of course, her hubby is a professor over at URI.
In what?
He works at the. Gosh, it just flew out of my brain.
Is it biology? Is it math? Is it history? Is it
The
English?
No, it's the Narragansett Bay campus.
All right.
School of Oceanography.
All right.
So sorry, it took me a second to pull it out
No,
from
that's
underneath
fine.
the dust.
Okay, well, that's got really nothing to do with,
But anyway,
what she's going to teach.
When I worked for Ballard down there, we had lunch together.
All right.
And then I found out, my wife's running for this. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then I
All
got
right.
a chance to meet her afterwards. So tell me, what's Steve really like when he's not working?
So what it sounds like is that she's
But
going to
she is aggressive. She's a ball of fire.
But it sounds like she's going to try to teach the students, like, her opinion. This is what disinformation is.
No,
What is she going to do?
I'm not reading it that way.
I'm reading it that way.
Well, go
Let
ahead.
me
Have
tell
your
you
fun.
what I
Be
think the
entertained. All right,
disinformation
go ahead.
is.
Be entertained.
Okay. Or is she going to try to tell you what's a lie and what isn't?
Joe, I read you
as
3
opposed to
emails this
disinformation.
morning from
Yes.
my own email box.
Yes.
Do you remember the one?
They were all very pleasant.
Yeah, right. Do you remember the one?
Except for the one that had your how much money you made over there in Europe.
That's the disinformation.
there you go.
And that is a study.
Yeah.
So that people can go and teach it, and prosper from. And how to head off this kind of disinformation. By the way, for the radio audience and for Tom's benefit, I get this stuff all the time on my laptop, and maybe you folks do from time to time, but of course, I look at like over 2,000 emails a day, so gee whiz, I see it a lot more frequently. And there's and Tom's immediately going to start laughing at this because he's going to get the joke and the audience won't. Dear Mr. Richards, I'm so-and-so from a bank in the United Kingdom, and we're searching for the heirs of Mr. E. Richards where he didn't married, he died intestate, and we're searching on.
He's got $1 gazillion.
Right.
We don't know what to do with.
we hired a detective agency, talked to the Secretary of State's office, the Department of State in the United States, and it appears that you're the one.
Isn't it
based on your
isn't that great?
last name. Now, anybody who knows Dave Richards realizes that Daddy gave me a different name. So I'm just saying, I mean, we both had a whale of a belly laugh at that one. That's disinformation.
All right.
Yeah,
see?
that's fraud.
Yeah.
Well, that's fraud.
It is, yes.
But no, there is political disinformation. It exists,
Oh,
and
there's
and
tons
if you
of it.
and if you know,
It was called spin years ago.
Yeah.
But now they've
Well, no,
taken it
this
to a
is-
new level.
Well, because there's so much money flying around planet Earth because they printed so much that now they can actually put up a building and say your job here is to confuse and lie and whatever, in Russia or something, and it does happen, and some of it gets through.
Diplomats have been doing that forever.
Right. It's sad to say that's true. And so
It's the art.
But I think what bothers conservatives, and we know we're put upon, is the whole Russian disinformation thing around Donald Trump 6 years ago, whatever it was a lie. But is there Russian disinformation? Of course there is. Was there a connection between Trump and? No, there wasn't. But the Democratic Party used it to good measure to basically ruin Trump.
Well, when
Trump
you're a
ruins
world
himself.
leader, there is a connection with every other world leader.
But
Right?
there,
Don't you
yes,
think?
yes. But I guess my point is
So
that
there is a connection enough to lie about it.
I guess my point is that getting back to Nellie Gorbea, if she does know something about cybersecurity, and I trust she does,
Yeah.
she knows how that all fits into the disinformation narrative where people are out there in Russia and by the way in the United States making disinformation, as you say, to garner power around the globe, and so
Or to
everybody
hurt
does
other
it,
people.
however it works, and so if she has some expertise in that, good for her.
I can tell you, as Secretary of State, she did an awful lot with bringing the Secretary of State's office up to the 21st century. I'm a notary public, and they had interactive classes on the new rules about being a notary public, and you never had to go down to the Secretary of State's office. Everything
right.
was done online.
That's right.
So she had to be written in, I guess, at least from subordinates, on how the world is going that way. And so she had to learn something.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing her personality, I can't imagine that there's any subject that she couldn't learn and be proficient at, because she's just that kind of a really hot button type
But was
of
she
lady.
hired because she was the best person? Or was she hired because she's the former Secretary of State?
Well, there may be
Doesn't
ingredients
say.
to that. You can't say, because you're not the decision maker and you weren't in the room when she was hired, so you really don't know. But, well, all right.
But I agree with you, by the way.
you wanna
She's a
go that
go-getter.
far-
She's
you
a
wanna go that
go-getter.
way? Cruising Bruce Palmer starts his afternoon all request only show on Saturday the 17th. Now,
Here.
right here. Well, okay, thank you, Joe. He's going to take over for Gary and the boys.
Yeah.
And do that show. Now you can say to yourself, okay, great. Gary and the boys were looking for a replacement because they'd like to spend more time with their families on a Saturday night, and that's no secret. Everybody knows this, and it's quite a natural thing. And they're caring people, and they want to maintain harmony in the family and everything else like that. And while they had a blast doing this show, but they wanted to have somebody who would replace them. If Bruce Palmer had not been on the air for 30 years before in Rhode Island and in Worcester, would he have gotten the job? So you say there's always an ingredient to that, but is it the sole reason, Tom? I don't think it's fair to say that because she was Secretary of State, it's the sole reason. I think it was
doubt
an
it's the sole
ingredient in the
reason.
decision making.
Right.
Because remember, when you run an institution of higher learning, you're selling your classes. You're selling your knowledge to people who would enroll, and then you get money when they're students and they've enrolled. So you are not going to hurt by having a fairly popular Secretary of State with a well-known name be one of your professors or an adjunct or a visiting fellow
Correct,
or whatever
correct.
it happens to terminology be. Someone's going to sign up for that class, and that's going to be a deciding factor in what they're thinking.
Right.
So it's always an ingredient, but I don't see any evil here.
No, I didn't say it was evil. I'm just saying that you're right. they're trading on her name, and there's nothing wrong with that. It happens all the time. So.
All right, break time here on Coffee and More is coming up. We ask you to stick around.
Recent news stories indicate that today many adults are concerned about the appearance of their teeth at work, socially, and even psychologically. If this is a concern for you, Dr. Jeffrey Dodge can help. They have an on-site laboratory to fabricate full or partial dentures. They also repair dentures. Having an on-site laboratory means that each step of the process is monitored by the dentist and the patient to be sure that style, shade, and shape are right for you. For more information, visit Dr. Dodge's website at drjedodge.com or stop in the office at 1438 Park Avenue at Park Square, 762-3044. 762-3044. Dr. Dodge, your family dentist.
During a time of loss, families face many challenges. Baraducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center can help alleviate some of the stress and help you create the perfect service for your loved one. A locally owned, family-operated funeral home that has been serving the community for over a century, Baraducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center have an affordable boutique-style funeral home at 185 Spring Street, Woonsocket. Prices are all-inclusive with no hidden charges. You can complete your arrangements online at providencecremation.com. Baraducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 751-5000. 751-5000. It is their honor to serve you.
Christmas in New York. The Northern Rhode Island Council of the Arts is hosting a bus trip to New York City on Saturday, December 17th. We'll get you to New York, and the day is yours. See the sights, visit a museum, see a show, whatever you like, the day is yours. Tickets are $90, and the bus will leave from the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center parking lot at 6:30 a.m. For more information or to reserve your seats, call Dominic at 401-447-0823.
Thanks, Dominic. It is Coffee In here on ON, AM, and FM. Joe Callahan, Dave Richards, Tom Waters here, and the town of Narragansett. They want to increase the parking and the walk-on fees at Narragansett Town Beach because they want more money.
That's an interesting thing, really. That has to do, I think, with the floggings will continue until morale improves. They've raised the rates and raised the rates and raised the rates and raised the rates. And last year, when they figured everything would be back up to pre-pandemic levels after raising the rates again, they said, oh, well, visitorship is down.
Yeah, not enough people went to the beach.
And expenses are up.
Got to pay
so we got to raise the rates again.
Yeah.
And so, anybody who's in business, this is government. And Tom,
yeah.
you get this. People in government think differently than people in business. A sober business person is going to look at it and say, there's a point where I'm going to reach the point of diminishing returns with increasing the cost of my product, right?
I don't know what their goal is. They hate
Raise
people.
cash.
So is the goal? I mean, the people. I've never been to Town Beach in my life ever.
You never been to Narragansett?
Well, I've walked it at 6 p.m., but I have to pay
But to
and
go for the day?
Never.
Okay.
And so
I've seen it from a restaurant window.
yeah, me too.
With the
That's
Coast
about
Guard
it.
house?
That's about it. And so
Well,
I don't even know what the fee. But isn't it if you get a sticker and you're from the town, you go for free, right?
Yeah,
or a little something small.
Right.
And then, so what are you saying that they raise prices and now they've hit the point where people don't go, the price is too high, and so they say
They
let's
reached
raise
that
them
price
again.
a while back for me.
Okay, and so they're saying let's raise them
And now
again.
they're raising it some more.
Yeah.
Because
So
they need
if
more
you're in-
revenue.
15
Yes.
bucks to walk
So-
on the beach.
so
Just
the-
to walk onto the beach, 15 bucks a head.
So if you have a
Is what
cooler
they're-
and you
yeah.
walk on, it's
$20 for a car.
Well, if you have a cooler, then you probably got two people
Another
carrying the
20.
cooler, right? So that's $30.
right.
And I don't know if they charge for the cooler.
And we said
No,
20
is
for the
the
car,
joke.
20 just for the car, or the car plus the people.
$20 for parking. So does that mean $20 for parking and then another 15 to walk on?
Another
Yes.
15.
Oh, wow.
And are there any season pass kind of things, or no? It's just daily.
They stopped that years back.
But-
I don't know if they brought it back. I
But I
can't
guess-
tell you
I
that because when they reached a certain point, I didn't pay attention anymore.
yeah.
And I'm assuming this is for in-state cars, too. You're us Mass
Probably wouldn't
residents.
matter if you're if you're a.
No, but if you're a Massachusetts or Connecticut resident, you're going to probably pay $40 to park.
I don't know.
And then 15 to walk on.
But
Wow.
I guess, but like I said, my question is, well, what's their goal? Are they trying to get
They're-
the right number of people, or are they trying to maximize revenue, or are they trying to scare people
Well,
off?
take
and
two
have-
steps back, Tom, and you can clearly see what the goal is. It's under the control of a locally elected town council of permanent residents. You see, and so permanent residents would like to not see the place
Other people.
a mass of people. They
Right.
would like to have it for themselves.
So then they've reached the goal, is limiting the amount of
There
people
you
who go.
go.
So,
we don't have enough
but
money.
so
to
why
pay
do they need?
We don't have enough money to pay the lifeguards,
That's
and they want
nonsense.
and
25
and
or 30
local
bucks an
people
hour.
do not want it to be an expense.
Right.
They want it to be something free, even to them as residents.
So the
So
trick
let's get-
is,
so let's erect the gantries and do all of the tractor trailer trucks from out of state.
now the Narragansett
Does that
Town
sound
Council.
familiar to you? Let's get somebody else to pay our way.
Well, listen. I just came from Florida, and that's why I said that about the tolling thing, because just between. I mean, I didn't drive it. I drove down. I drove because I drove to Florida and I flew back yesterday. I drove it to deliver a car down there because we're going to be going for some of the winter, and so. But I went down Route 81 like many New Englanders do, just to avoid
95. And
you know,
Savannah.
Baltimore, Washington. And so Baltimore, Washington, you have $40 worth of tolls right there, just in that 100 miles.
And then you get to Delaware, which is another 8.
But the reason it's that way is because they soak up money from out of staters to pay the bills. And I've always said, why can't we soak up money from out of staters? And then they give you the story about it's illegal on the interstate highway, because really you just put one toll booth down in Hopkinton and soak everybody coming across the line. But no, that's illegal. So fine. So Gina found a way around it. I was in support because I want other people to pay my bills. And because I didn't want Rhode Islanders to have to pay for this bridge work that had been neglected for so long, because it's too expensive. It's $1 billion. And so so I supported it. And as I semi-jokingly said, I really don't care about the legality. Just get the money from somebody else. That is the American way. You look at the state of Florida. Why does the state of Florida have no income tax? Because they live on less? No, because they punish visitors. New Hampshire, because they're a 3-season state, is Florida. New Hampshire is a 3-season state. And so you can punish money and get money from everybody in New Hampshire and everybody in Florida. You punish the visitors. Hotel taxes, gasoline taxes, depending on seasons.
And then you go out and spend a lot of ad money to
Entice
tell
them to
people to
come.
come
bring
and
them.
visit you.
Exactly. And but you can, because you're killing them on other fees. And the one I remember is, I owned my place and I rented it out in Florida. When I started in 2003, when I first bought it, there was no tax on the rent. I mean, I collected at the time, it was $3,000 a month. I collected it. I paid my income tax, of course, in Rhode Island. But Florida didn't benefit from that. They benefited from people staying in hotels. Well, they changed the rules along the way, and now there's 11% tax on condo renters. I don't know the breakdown, but some of it goes to the state, some of it goes to the county. And so they find a way they know from the condo association what you're renting. So for the first couple of years, I just sucked it up and paid the tax of $330 out of the $3,000. But then I finally just said to the tenants, I'm sorry, but the state has raised these taxes on rentals, and so you're going to have to pay these taxes. And they did. But the point is, that's Florida figuring out some way to just keep punishing visitors. And so they bring in so many billions of dollars from visitors that they don't have to tax their own people. And, everybody does that. Woonsocket's going through a dust-up right now over the multifamily taxation. I mean, that's always been the American way in Woonsocket and many other communities, except Cumberland. I wish they'd give me a break. But where you punish the multifamily owners. Why? Because the multifamily owner doesn't live in Woonsocket. And so you take care of the single family owners because they vote. the multifamily owners generally aren't there to vote back. And so they get hit harder with taxes. That's not new. It's been going on. I mean, I remember when it happened to me when I owned the house in Woonsocket from 85 to 2003. And I remember there were changes in the tax code, and I'd get hammered. And so I would just send a letter to my tenants saying, your rent is going up by this much. And I'd show them the bill. And I'd say, Tom Ward's not getting any of that money. I just want to let you know that's all going to City Hall, every penny of it. And they understood.
All right. The Narragansett Town Council is going to review and discuss their options before they vote on this.
Before they
this
vote
rate
to
hike.
approve it, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's
right.
it.
Yeah.
Like you said, Dave, if the goal is they don't want people there, then why not go for the $1,000 entry ticket? So you basically
Well,
say
see, 'cause
it's
then
still
you go to
legal to
court.
come in.
Because then you go to court. Remember that thing with the frog and raising the temperature in the pan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the trick is to find someone that has a house down there in Narragansett, park in their driveway, and then hop over the wall.
The trick is to
And
go
go
to
for-
the
and go
state
for free.
beaches like I've been doing my
Yeah,
whole
right.
life. There's plenty of nice beaches. What do you have to go to Town Beach for?
Oh,
Exactly.
all right. Because it's there. I don't know,
Like,
that's where the best surfing is. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
That was
apparently
never a
there's something
favorite
about
spot
this.
in my family. You always liked the open ocean.
All right, we've come to the end of the program.
In
Thank
fact,
you very
we
much.
don't even like the west coast of Florida because it's not the open ocean.
No, it's
we
not
call
even-
it the bathtub.
It is the bathtub.
All right, Coffee Ends come to an end. Thank you for listening. Dave Richards, thanks for coming in.
Great to be here.
All right, Tom Ward, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great day. Coming up is At the Library with Leslie Page, and then Food First with Karen Zan Gary. Milk Fun Auction coming up this afternoon at 4.
See you there.
Oh, Tiki Bar at 6.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Two men from